Okay, so today I'm going to be going over my 2020 expenses. So, a little bit about me. I was an intern for most of 2020, so I was making around minimum wage and I worked 3 to 4 days a week. And for home bills, um, I was paying 5 cell phone lines, so that was around 150. And then I started helping out with the gas bill in February, which ranged from 50 to 150. And then I started helping out with the electricity bill in November. And then my parents paid the internet slash landline phone, which was around 93, and the water slash trash bill is $52,200. And there's no mortgage, so they pay the property taxes, I think, twice a year. I don't know how much that is. And then they pay for groceries. And for my other bills, I have a car loan, which the minimum is 250, and then my car insurance was 130 to 140. Usually it was around 140. And then Spotify, I was paying $10, and then I added the family plan, so that was $15. And my income was about 1,400 a month, so I was getting two checks that were $700. And okay, so over here I have my summary. So here's how much I earned each month, and then how much I spent, and then the difference. Um, so yeah, on average, I saved up, or I guess the total I saved was $4,000 this year. So like not the best, but also not the worst. There were a couple of negatives. I did have a cushion in my checking account, so this was just like based off of like the month. Um, but yeah, I did like seeing a lot of like some of the 50% ones in the spent, but anyway, and then so for the average, I took out the last 2 months, and yeah, the average was about 1,418 from January to October. Um, and then for savings, I actually saved $6,000, and that was the other 2,000 I probably came from my checking account because in December I just moved almost everything into my savings. So in total I have $14,000 saved, and that will go towards um, paying for a down payment on a house. And then for car debt, I have 11,678 with 49 cents left. And that's my only debt that I have. Okay, so for January, I earned 1,847 with 57 cents. So my two real checks, I think, was the 544 and then the 806. This was a travel advance check, and I'm not sure where these two things came from. But anyway, this is how much I earned that month. And then the phone bill was 150, car was 247, and then Geico was 138, and then Spotify was 10. So my bills were 546. And then for fun slash other, I spent $304. And I was trying to see, because I thought I actually was spending more money on fast food, and actually I wasn't. Is more, I was spending more on like going to the store and stuff. And then for a work travel, this is how much I spent on that trip. So I think I may have had to pay back some of this travel advance check, but I probably did that with cash, so I didn't keep track of that. And then my brother used my card for $20 that month. And in pencil, I wrote the Amazon card. So I spent 462. 273 was my dad's purchase, because he had to fix his truck and we bought a part from Amazon. So technically I only spent 189, But damn, I spent like $400, like more than $400 this month. Um, so yeah. And then my dad paid me back in cash, but again, I wasn't really keeping track of cash very well. Okay. And then let's go to February. Okay. So for February, I earned $1,352, $52.13. This stayed about the same. This was the month that I added the gas bill, so that was $127.09. And then I spent $261.88 with fun/other. Again, it was fast food and stores. Oh, I also went to Santa Cruz. I went to Santa Cruz with my sister. That was pretty fun. And then, so most of these honestly are paid with my credit card, and it gets paid off on the 7th of the month. So these are technically based off of when I made the purchases, but for the Amazon card, I just wrote when I paid it off. So so I paid $462 on the Amazon card, and this was from the previous month. And I did make a $134 purchase, so technically I spent a lot more than this. And then my brother again used my card for $20. There was someone was using my card for Apple, and I got that money back, so I didn't include it in my total, but I still wrote it down. And so I spent $1,407. So I actually went over by $55 that month. But that's all good. And then for March, I earned $2,392 with 55 cents. So I think my real checks were the 782 and the 782 over here. And I think the 611 was taxes that I got back. So I think it was this one and the 17. But anyway, yeah. And then for bills, they stayed about the same, but the gas bill went a little bit down to $87.49. And then for fun/other, I spent $433 with 88 cents. So again, it was fast food and stores. I did buy a plane ticket. This was at the beginning of March. We've since postponed it twice. My mom and I. So anyway, yeah. And then for the Chase card, so this was what I spent in February that I paid off, and I actually spent $455 this month for Amazon, and I bought a bed and a mattress for my sister's place. And so in total I spent $1,196, not including the Amazon or the $455. So I actually didn't spend half of it, so that's pretty good month, but also it was because of the other like checks. And then for April, I got my 2 checks, and then I got $25 for rewards for my credit card. So that was $1,506 with 16 cents. So these all stayed about the same. The gas bill went a little bit down, and then I paid my sister $170. I stayed at her place for 2 weeks, and then I spent $252 for fun/other. So I spent money at Domino's, and then I did a few donations, and then I spent money on makeup and maybe I helped out with groceries. I don't know what that was. And then I paid off $476 off the Chase card, which was the big purchases of the bed and the bed frame. And then my brother used my card for 15, so I spent $1,534.24. So I overspent by $28. And obviously this was kind of the big culprit. Well, honestly, it's me, but you know. And where am I? Okay. And then for May, my checks were $507 with 40 cents and $578 with 72 cents, and I made $1,086 with 12 cents. So I think at this point I had to switch back to 3 days because my internship capped our days, and it was based off of the year. I don't know if that made sense, but anyway, point is that I think that's why I was making a little bit less. And yeah, so the gas bill went down to $53, and I think from this point it kind of stayed at around $50, probably because, you know, summer. And then I paid my sister again for the 2 weeks of rent, and then I spent $100 on Amazon, and then I spent money on gas twice, and then I spent money at Sephora, and then I also bought glasses and sunglasses, so I spent $341 this month. And then my brother used my card for $50, so in total I spent $1,030.50, and the difference was $55, because this was a pretty small check. So yep. And then for June, it was another smaller checks. So I made $456.27 and $486.23. So my total was $942 with 50 cents. And then for bills, stayed about the same. Like I said, the gas bill stayed at around 50 for a while, and then I gave my sister 200 because for rent and also for food for the 2 weeks. And then I spent money at Domino's, Ulta, and Amazon and Home Depot, so that was $274 with 90 cents. And then my brother used my card for almost $100. And then for Ulta, so my birthday's in July, and I basically bought a bunch of shit, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make my family pay me back for the stuff that I bought, so that way they don't spend like money on stuff that I don't want, and also they don't overspend. So I think like each person bought like $20 worth of stuff, and some of them did get me like extra things, which you know, I felt kind of bad because the whole point of them was to like only like spend 20 on me. But anyway, so total spent was $1,167.25, and I overspent by $224 with 75 cents. So yeah, oops, but also this is pretty small. And like I said, I got cash back from the Ulta purchases, and then I also received extra cash for my birthday. It just gave me cash, and I didn't really keep track of how much it was. And then for July, I earned $805, and then $849.92, and then I got $36.24 from Venmo, probably from my sister. I don't know for what. So I earned $1,691 with $75, and I think at this point I was back to 4 days a week. So like I said, gas was $50, and then everything else stayed the same. Geico went a little bit down to $132, and then for Venmo, so rent for my sister, I only gave her $70 because I stopped staying at her place, because I was like, maybe I shouldn't be like moving from house to house because, you know, COVID. So so yeah, I still have like my bed and stuff over there, but I don't, like, they can have it as like a guest room. Like, I don't really care. And moving to their place was just a way to feel a little bit more of an adult. So I was only just trying to test it out, I guess. So anyway, so I spent around $110 on fun/other, so that's pretty good. And then my brother used my card for $20, and then I don't know if I mentioned this, but like, he pays me back. I feel like the first few months I wasn't really keeping track very well of how much he was paying me back, but anyway, there's that. And he has his debit card now, so I think that will be a little bit better. But anyway, so yeah, so total spent was $789, and then I didn't spend 902, so that was pretty good. Because, and I think one of the reasons why I kind of didn't spend much this month was because I had bought myself so much shit from Ulta that I was like, okay, I think I'm good with what I have. I don't know. And then for August, I made $1,323 with 5 cents. And then everything stayed about the same. The gas bill actually went even lower, so it's $38. And then I only spent money on Amazon and Domino's, and that was $170 with 97 cents. And my brother used my card for $9, so I spent $757 with 92 cents, and the difference was $565 with 13 cents. And then in September, I made $1,274. So these two were checks, and then this one I think was the credit card rewards thing. And then PG&E, so the gas bill went, again, stayed around $150, so went a little bit higher than the previous month. Everything else stayed about the same, so $587. And then I spent money on Amazon, Ulta, Domino's, and then my car tags were fucking expensive, so I spent $477 with 16 cents on fun/other. And then I also spent money on getting my transcript because I got a new job. I ended up not needing it because they were cool with the online version, but I still have that. And then my brother spent $60 on my card, and then I sent $1,000 to Mexico because my uncle was sick with COVID. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. But yeah, $300 was used for oxygen tanks, and then the $700 was used for food for my extended family. And then my brother's birthday was in September, so I gave him $50 cash, and then $2 I spent on some socks that my sister sold me. So in total it was $1,067, and not counting the cash, it was $1,122 with 43 cents. And then with cash it was this much. And then not spent, just based off of the cards, it was $151 with 94 cents. And then I also wanted to mention that the way that I would get cash is either people paying me back for using my card, birthday or Christmas money, or my side hustle, which was home improvement. so my uncle flips houses, so I would help out. So that was, and of course sometimes I would withdraw money, but it didn't show up this year, so I guess I didn't. So there's that. And then for October, so I got a job this month, or a profesh job this month. So I only got paid $771 for my intern job. So this was the last paycheck in September that I got. So yeah. And then this stayed about the same. PG&E, or the gas bill went a little bit higher. And then I spent money for a blush. I spent money at Walmart and Amazon and Domino's. And then my phone broke, and I dropped it, and I was only able to use half of my screen, and I wasn't able to put in my code, so I wasn't able to use it. And then I had an old phone, and I just decided to plug it in, and it worked. And then I realized that it was giving me shocks because I had broken that phone because I dropped it in the water. So anyway, so I wanted to hold off until Black Friday to see if there would be some deals, and also because I knew I was only getting this check. But then I was just like, I kind of need a phone that doesn't give me shocks. And also there was another family emergency related to COVID. So I was just like, I'm just gonna buy a phone. So I spent $705, which is basically, you know, what I earned, but it's fine. I also didn't want to use the Afterpay thing, so I just bought it as is. So anyway, I spent $905 that month. And then others, so I changed it to others usage because my cousin borrowed some money. And so anyway, total spent was $1,954, and then the difference was negative $182.79. Yeah. And okay, so for November, November is kind of a shit show. Not a shit show, but okay. So, at the end of October, my family got COVID, and it's pretty scary. Everybody is okay, and we didn't have to go to the hospital or anything, but yeah, like my parents were pretty sick, and then my aunt and uncle were really sick too. My siblings and we just got super mild symptoms, but anyway, I will talk about that with my expenses or how it relates to that, but anyway, so my bills stayed about the same. Oh, my bad. Okay, so in the month of November, I received my first professional paycheck, which was $2,558.83. At this point, I was only offered part-time, 80% part-time. So yeah, that's what that is. And so yeah, so I went to the grocery store by myself for the first time, and yeah, so I bought food. So it was 209 with 44 cents, and that was for just my brother and I because we ended up isolating for a week. But then we went to go get tested again, and then my brother was positive, so then we just went back to my parents. But anyway, and then I spent 72.81 on things, and then I Venmo'd my sister $400 because she was the delivery person for us, because she was the only one that didn't get sick. So So yeah, she was delivering groceries and medicine to us. So I sent her $400. It was obviously a lot more, but my mom and my sister covered the other the rest. And then I bought ExpressVPN for a month because we were having internet issues and my brother was only able to use the public Wi-Fi, but then it wasn't working either, and like he had classes. But anyway, it didn't work, but I still, paid for it. And then I started doing my Christmas shopping, and then I also had 2 late birthdays and then 2 birthdays in December that I paid for. So I spent $452 the month of November on Christmas and birthday. And I was basically budgeting around $40 per person. And then if they had a birthday and Christmas, then it was like 80. It was about, it wasn't exactly. And then for others usage, I was $232.55. So my brother spent all of this amount of money. And then for these two, these were my presents, but people paid me back for them. And then for the car loan, so I did the minimum payment and then I did an extra $752. So that was $1,000, and then the remaining balance was $11,866. And I decided to do that because, I have a real job. Anyway, so yeah. And then for savings, I wrote that I had $12,000. I think I moved 1,000 or something. So then the total spent was $2,874 with 45 cents. So the difference was actually negative 315. But that's cool. And then for cash, I was trying to keep track, but I didn't really do a very good job. But the point is that I had 255 at the end of November. And then so for December, I received my first full-time paycheck. So so I actually was offered a full-time I was offered full-time. So I received $3,130 with 8 cents, and then I got $25 in credit card rewards, and then my sister paid me $75 for the blanket that I bought for myself, and then my dad's phone, because we all pitched in to buy him a phone, and then I got a game refund and other refunds, and then I used Rakuten. So it was $3,393 with 69 cents. And then for fun/other, I spent $13.97 at an Asian supermarket store, and then I spent money on Amazon, and then I bought a holiday makeup set, and I kept one of the highlighters. So anyway, that was 10, so total was 71.77. And then for Christmas/birthday, I spent $262 with 23 cents. So I spent the rest of the gifts on Amazon, and then I already mentioned this. And then I also wrote it in pencil what I spent with cash, just to keep track. I didn't actually include it in the total at the end. But anyway, yeah. And then for others usage, spent $198 with 19 cents. And technically this was actually a gift to me. And then I kind of messed up and wrote the bills at the bottom because I guess the other stuff was more important this month. I don't know. Anyway, but and then this was the first. Oh wait, I forgot to say that. So I started paying off for the electricity bill in November. So that was 130 and 130 with 52 cents. And then the month of December, it was 70 with 29 cents. And the gas bill was a lot more. Wait, how much was it in November? I didn't even check that. Yeah, so the gas bill only went up a little bit. In the December, it went up because, you know, December. And then Geico went a little bit down. So that was $464 with 89 cents. And then at this point, or for the previous month was the first month that I split up the car from the bills because I wanted to give more towards it, but this month I didn't. I just kept the $247. So in total, I spent $1,245, and the difference was $2,148 with 63 cents, which is pretty good considering, you know, it was Christmas season. But then again, I did most of my purchases in November for Christmas. And then for savings, I moved $2,000. So at the end, I had $14,000 saved, as I mentioned at the beginning. I only had like about $100 left in my checking account, so yep. And then for the car, as I mentioned at the beginning, I have $11,000 with $670 with 78 cents left. And then I also just wanted to keep track on how much I spent on Christmas and birthday, and it ended up being $643, which actually isn't so bad. So yeah, I spent $714 with cards, and then 64 in cash, which is $778, and then my mom, brother, and sister paid me back for my dad's phone, so I spent that much money. And then this month I actually kept way better track of, oops, did I break it? I kept better track of cash flow. I spent $234 in cash. So most of the time it was that I went to the store with my mom and then I just gave her the money instead of doing 2 separate transactions. And then yeah. And then for the pluses, it was a lot of my brother and my dad paying me for things. Like my dad bought I think it was a jacket for himself. And then I also received $400 for my side hustle. And then my dad gave me $100 for Christmas. So those were like the bigger things. So yeah, so in total it was $725, and then with the money that I had from the previous month and then this and this, I ended up with $746 in cash. And that's pretty much my expenses of 2020. Thank you for watching.